a trip into the park yet? Has anybody done a bus trip?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anybody seen some amazing animals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Let's see, so what have you seen so far? Tell me about it. Ooh, the Dall sheep, yeah. Oh, moose.
Fun. I'd do that ride. That was so fun.
Yeah, already.
Pretty amazing to see, aren't they? Yeah, it's amazing to see do what they love the most. Doing their job here in Denali, pulling our sleds for us. Now, we said they're freight hauling dogs, but what kind of freight do they haul here for us? You may know? Yeah, us. They haul rangers, definitely. They haul rangers around the inside of the park. That's number one, right? They allow us to do three major things inside of your national park. These dogs are very important for us to protect the park. They're important for us to recreate inside the park. And they're important for us to understand this park. They do all of these things. They do it for a very low wage. They do all these things. Number one, they protect the park. Of course, that's by helping us to patrol the innards of our park. We have 2 million acres in the center of our 6 million acre park that are complete and total wilderness. That's a pretty amazing designation right there. A wilderness designation. And for us here in the Kittles, the most important part of the designation means that we can have no motorized vehicles in those 2 million acres. So what we do is we use our dogs. We use our dogs to patrol those 2 million acres and to allow for people to recreate inside of it. This park never closes. People come here in the winter time to ski. They come here to snowshoe. They come here to mush their own dog teams. These dogs will open up those trails to allow everyone to enjoy their park here inside of this amazing winter climate that we have here. It's a little challenging sometimes. And of course, the very third important thing they do for us is they allow us to understand this wilderness. Because we have a total of 6 million acres in this park, and those 6 million acres have that's right, just one human development inside of them. That's all they have. That's an intact wilderness. Something that we don't see inside of this world very often, something that we definitely do not understand. What is it like if these animals don't have planes going overhead? What is it like if these animals don't have trucks going by them every single day? What is it like for them to live inside of this intact ecosystem together, having these natural migration patterns, these natural living areas? We don't know. But these dogs will haul out scientific equipment so we can go out there in the wintertime and study it and learn more as much as possible from these amazingly pure, free locations out in our wilderness. So as you explore your national park today, I want you to feel the feelings that these dogs feel every single day in their job as mode of transportation. I want you to feel that rush of excitement of being in a new location. I want you to feel that freedom of being in a totally wild spot. And I want you to thank these animals for allowing us to understand, explore, and protect your national park. Before you head out from the stands, I'm going to keep you here for a little bit longer. I'm going to answer 2 questions from each of the stands here. And I'm going to ask, after I release you after those questions, that you don't cross this little blue line right here. This little blue line behind me. Do you see it, everybody? Yeah. There are about 200 of you and 5 dogs in front of you. It might be a little overwhelming for us to all swarm them at once. So I'm going to ask you to stay behind this little line. You'll see that there's one important part of the team that's not behind the blue line. What part of the team is that? We will then adopt them out to a loving family living in a cold climate who are very active, so they can have an active life for the rest of their time in this great world. Yeah. Good question. Anybody? Yes, ma'am. Question. Okay, these stands right here? Yes.
How fast will the sled go in the winter?
In the wintertime, how fast will the sled go? We have clocked them just around this track right here, going 17 miles per hour. That's, of course, with no load on the back of it and going very fast because they're just right on it right then, without having to do a full day's work. They can generally go in a good weather day about 20 miles in a day. If it's a poor weather day, of course, though, they can go as little as 3 miles. It all depends on the weather. Good question.
How do you choose your lead dog?
How do we choose our lead dogs? Our lead dogs. Now, something we do a little different here inside of our park is that we allow these dogs to do every single different position inside of the sled. We have our lead dogs right here in front, and of course you want something a little unique for lead dogs. Typically, you want them to be a bit more intelligent because they're the ones who are responding to the only commands that will allow us to steer our sled. We don't have a steering wheel, we have our voices. We have verbal commands, gee and haw, left and right. And these dogs have to be able to respond to those verbal commands. They also have to be able to respond to any obstacles in their path along their job. So we want them to be very on top of it, very awake, very intelligent, but of course we don't want them to get mentally taxed by being in that first spot all day long. So we'll switch them out throughout the entire day. Every dog should know how to do that lead job just in case, because you never know if a dog might injure a paw throughout the day, and so they might have to be put in a sled, so the other dogs will have to pick up a slack and do that front job too. Good question. Yes.
So all the dogs get to work?
All the dogs get to work, yes. All of our dogs get to work, absolutely. Females, males, even if they're a little smaller than we want, even if they don't have those perfect paw sizes that we want, they will get to work. But if they don't have those perfect body proportions that we want, we probably won't breed them to keep those portions from being inside of the kennels. Good job. Yeah. Yes. Are these the same dogs that are used in the famous dog sled races? Yes. Alaskan Huskies are definitely used in the famous dog sled races. Oftentimes those famous dog sled races will bring in other breeds as well if they're looking for something a little special. As you can expect lots of breeding companies to do, if you're wanting to get that extra edge in the competition, they'll bring in something new to your kennels. And so sometimes they'll bring in new breeds and breed them into the Alaskan Huskies that they have. We also see lots of different types of Huskies and types of genetics that are coming into there sometimes. Maybe less sometimes, yeah. Good question. Anybody else hear this last statement? Yes, sir. Has anybody ever had a close encounter with a grizzly on the sled? Sometimes they will encounter moose or other wolf packs, but not grizzlies because, of course, they're working in the winter time. And what are grizzlies doing in the winter? They're sleeping, they're hibernating. You encounter, thankfully, those grizzlies. Yeah, good question. If you have any more questions, we love them. Please feel free to ask. I want to thank you so much for coming to the kennels today and exploring your national park. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.